words and blessings to speak something meaningful from this beautiful Bhagavatam. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunati Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari We'll start Brahma Samhita prayers now. We'll do it together. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Chintaman Prasad Masukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Bipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venam Kvanantam Aravinda Dalayataaksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vamshi Ratnangadam Pranayakeli Kala Vilasam Shyamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sajujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitamachyutamanadi Manantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayavanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabhamadurlabhamatma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamyo Vayo Ratapi Manaso Munipungavanam Sopyasti Yat Prapadasimni Avichintya Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yekopyasau Rachayutum Jagadanda Kotim Yachaktirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Danta Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yadbhava Bhavithadiyo Manujastataiva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Bhusha Suktairyameva Nigama Pratitaistuvanti गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसा प्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिर्ययैव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। प्रेमाञ्जनाचुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत् परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटि कोटिस्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। माया हि यस्य जगदण्डशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वं विशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मतया मनस्सु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। गोलोकनाम्नि निजधाम्नि तले च तस्य देवी महेशहरिधामसुतेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनिचया विहिताश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका चायैव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। क्षीरं यथा दधिविकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते न हि तथा पृथगस्ति हेतो यशम्भुतामपि तथा समुपैति कार्याद् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। दीपार्चिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतुसमानधर्मा यस्तादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यः कार्नार्नावजले भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्डसरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्यैकनिःश्वसितकालमतावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। भास्वान्यताश्म सकलेषु निदेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्मा यैष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मही गगनमम्बुमरुद्दिशश्च कालस्तथात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयाणि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेष तेजा यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोत्तपापनिचय श्रुतयस्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपतगावधयश्च जीवा यद्दत्तमात्रविभव प्रकटप्रभावा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्त्विन्द्रगोपमतवेन्द्रमहोस्वकर्मा बन्धानुरूपफलभाजनमातनोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रणयादिभीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावै सञ्चिन्त्य तस्य सदृशीं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रिया कान्ता कान्ता परमपुरुषा कल्पतरवो द्रुमा भूमिश्चिन्तामणिगणमयी तोयममृतं कथागानं घाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योति परमपि तदास्वाद्यम् अपि च स यत्र क्षीराब्धिः श्रवति सुरभिभ्यश्च सुमहान् निमेषार्धाख्यो वा व्रजति न हि यत्रापि समया भजे श्वेतद्वीपं तमहमिह गोलोकमितियं विदन्तस्ते सन्ताक्षितिविरलाचारा कटिपये अतो वाच महाविष्णुर्भगवन्तं प्रजापतिं ब्रह्मन्महत्त्वविज्ञाने प्रजासर्गे च चेन्मति पञ्चश्लोकीम् इमं विद्यां वत्स दत्तां निबोध मे प्रबुधे ज्ञानभक्तिभ्याम् आत्मनि आनन्दचिन्मयी उदेति अनुत्तमा भक्तिर्भगवत्प्रेमलक्षणा प्रमाणैस्तत्सद् आचारैस्तदभ्यासैर्निरन्तरं बोधयन् आत्मनात्मानं भक्तिम् अपि उत्तमां लभेत् यस्य श्रेयस्करं नास्ति यया निवृत्तिम् आप्नुयात् या साधयति मामेव भक्तिं तमेव साधयेत् धर्मान् अन्यान् परित्यज्य माम् एकं भज विश्वसन् यादृशी यादृशी श्रद्धा सिद्धिर्भवति तादृशी कुर्वन् निरन्तरं कर्म लोकोऽयम् अनुवर्तते तेनैव कर्मणा ध्यायं मां परां भक्तिमिच्छति अहं हि विश्वस्य चराचरस्य बीजं प्रधानं प्रकृतिपुमांश्च मया हितं तेज इदं बिभर्षि विदेति तमतो जगन्ति ईश्वरा परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणम् इति श्रीब्रह्मसंहिता सम्पूर्णं हरिः ओम्. Next we'll recite invocation prayers, Mangalacharan prayers. Actually these Mangalacharan prayers, they open our heart to receive the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Let us chant with all our hearts. ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वन मोर टाइम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Prabhu, can we have 1 to 4? 1 to 4. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। We'll recite this together. शुश्रूषो श्रद्धधानस्य वासुदेवा कथारुचिः स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थानि सेवनात्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्च ये चेतयेतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति। एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते। भिद्यते हृदयाग्रन्थिश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशया क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे। Now we'll recite Sanatan Goswami's prayers. Actually, Sanatan Goswami is one of our acharyas. He is a direct disciple of Lord Sri Chaitanya. He has written prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. First, we'll read the translation. Prabhu, Kautkarna Prabhu, would you like to read only the translations?
O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds.
O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master, Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Sri Krishna.
I bow down to you, who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself.
My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love.
We'll go to the third. We'll recite the Sanskrit now. Sarvashastrabdi Piyusha Sarvavedaika Satphala Sarvasiddhantaratnadya Sarvalokaika Drikpradha Sarvabhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kalidvantoditaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Bhattaya Prema Varshaksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostute Madeka Bandho Matsangin Madguro Manmahadana Mannishtaraka Madbhagya Madhananda Namostute Asadu Sadhu Datayin Atinichochatakara Hana Muncha Kadachinmam Premna Hritkantayospura. We'll recite this again, the last one. Asadu Sadhu Datayin Atinichochatakara Hana Muncha Kadachinmam Premna Hritkantayospura. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we'll discuss Canto 1, Chapter 16, Text 16. 1:16:16 Srimad Bhagavatam. Saradhya Parshada Sevana Sakya Dautya Veera Sananugamanastavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnur Bhaktim Karoti Nripatis Charanara Vinde. Saradhya Parshada Sevana Sakya Dautya Sevana Sakya Dautya Veera Sananugamana Stavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnor Bhaktim Karoti Nripatis Charanara Vinde. Mataji, would you like to recite? Prabhu. 1:16:16. Prabhu, two of you can recite.
सारथ्य पार्षद सेवन सख्य धौत्या
सारथ्य पार्षण सेवन सख्य धौत्या
वीरासनानुगमन स्तवन प्रणामान्
वीरासनानुगमनस्तवन प्रणामान्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे
सारथ्यपारसदसेवनसख्यदौत्या
सारथ्यपार्षदसेवनसख्यदौत्या
वीरासनानुगमनस्तवन प्रणामम्
वीरासनानुगमनस्तवन प्रणामान्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु प्रजगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे Mataji, would you like to recite?
सारथ्य पारषद सख्यदौत्या
सारथ्य पार्षद सेवन सख्य दौत्या
वीरासनानुगमनस्तवन प्रणामान्
वीरासनानुगमनस्तवन प्रणामान्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे
भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे Okay. We'll read word for word now. Sarathya, acceptance of the post of a chariot driver. Parshada, acceptance of the presidency in the assembly of the Rajasuya sacrifice. Sevana, engaging the mind constantly in the service of the Lord. Sakya, to think of the Lord as a friend. Dautya, acceptance of the post of a messenger. Veera Asana, acceptance of the post of a watchman with a drawn sword at night. Anugamana, following in the footsteps. Stavana, offering of prayers. Pranaman, offering obeisances. Snigdeshu, unto them who are malleable to the will of the Lord. Pandushu, unto the sons of Pandu. Jagat, the universal. Pranatim, one who is obeyed. Cha, and Vishnu, of Vishnu. Bhaktim, devotion. Karoti, does. Nripatihi, the king. Charanara Vinde, unto his lotus feet. Mataji, would you like to read the translation?
Maharaja Parikshit heard that his causeless mercy of Lord Krishna or Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, rendered all kinds of service to the, I can read, is that malleable sons of Pandu by acceptance of posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger, friend, high watchman, etc. According to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisance like the one younger in years. When he heard this, Maharaja Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord.
Purport.
Lord Krishna is everything to the unalloyed devotees like the Pandavas. The Lord was for them the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the worshipable deity, the guide, the chariot driver, the friend, the servant, the messenger, and everything they could conceive of. And thus the Lord also reciprocated the feelings of the Pandavas. Maharaj Parikshit, as a pure devotee of the Lord, could appreciate the Lord's transcendental reciprocation of the feelings of his devotees, and thus he himself also was overwhelmed with the dealings of the Lord. Simply by appreciating the dealings of the Lord with the pure devotees, one can attain salvation. The Lord's dealings with his devotees appear to be ordinary human dealings, but one who knows them in truth becomes at once eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. The Pandavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for the service of the Lord, and by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape they desired.
Thank you, Prabhu. Can someone name some of the qualities of Krishna? Any volunteers? Some qualities.
He is merciful.
Merciful, yes. Dutiful. Beautiful, yes, Mataji.
It's very attractive.
Attractive. Very friendly. Out of all the qualities of Krishna, the most endearing quality is Krishna's Bhaktavatsala quality. Krishna loves to serve his devotees, as we are reading in this translation. First, I offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, by whose mercy we have Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, first canto, Prabhupada wrote in Delhi and in Vrindavan. He did not know whether he would be able to write all the 12 translate all the 12 cantos. So whatever he wanted to give, he gave in first canto. First canto is considered the lotus feet of the Lord according to Padma Purana. If we read first canto and we assimilate the message of canto 1, we are ready to go back to Godhead. Especially in this verse, Prabhupada gives us several tickets for going back to Godhead. Prabhu, can we have 121? Bhagavad Gita 121. In Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked Krishna to draw the chariot in between the two armies, Senayorubayor madhye ratam stapaya mechuta yavadetan niriksheham yoddu kamanavastitan. Krishna was very happy to do that. Krishna never felt like driver is not considered a chauffeur, is considered not a big job or anything. But Krishna, this is his Bhaktavatsala nature. He loves to serve his devotees, and this is the most endearing of all his qualities. Can we go to the purport, Prabhu? First paragraph, can someone read?
Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible. As charioteer, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. Although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hrishikesha, the Lord of the total senses. The relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders, and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is the infallible master in all circumstances.
Thank you, Prabhu. One of the names of Krishna is Achyuta. Achyuta means he never falls down, he never fails to protect his devotees. As we see in this verse, Prabhu, can we go back to Srimad Bhagavatam? 1:16. See here, several things are listed how Krishna was protecting. Krishna was assuming different roles in relationship with his devotees, the Pandavas. Queen Kunti Devi also prays in her prayers that in all the circumstances from Vishan, Mahagnehi, Purushada, Darshanad, in all these circumstances, whenever we were in difficulty, you were there, you are protecting us. We'll do a little summary of what happened before. This is 16th chapter. In 7th chapter, Ashwatthama releases a Brahmastra to kill all the Pandavas and the child in the womb of Uttara. And Krishna protects all of them. Then, 8th chapter, Queen Kunti, out of her gratitude, she outpours her heart. She prays she offers wonderful prayers to Lord Krishna. And her intention was Krishna should not leave Hastinapur. And she prays, let my attraction be, and just like Ganges water flows to the sea, let my attraction be only unto you, and devoted to no one else. Then at the end of the chapter, 8th chapter, Yudhishthira Maharaj was not feeling satisfied. Although Krishna counseled him, the sages counseled him, Vyasadev himself said it's not your fault. The war, he was feeling miserable that for him to become the king, so many millions of people have to sacrifice their lives. But it's the will of Krishna that Yudhishthira Maharaj could not feel satisfied by any amount of counseling by all the devotees and Krishna himself. Then they go to Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev first empathizes them. See how many sufferings, how many difficulties that you, Pandavas, you're all dharma personified, still you have to go through so much of sufferings. And he concludes, it's all by the will of Krishna. Just accept it. And he instructs him of how to rule the world. He's the emperor. He's so happy. Bhishma Dev was so happy that Yudhishthira Maharaj has took up the position of the emperor. And he was happy to see all the Pandavas dressed in their regal dresses. Then Krishna prepares himself to leave for Dwarka, and we hear how Dwarkavasis receive him. Although they see him every single day, they're not satiated. It's like a big festival for them. Whenever Krishna enters the street, they're very eager to see him. Then Maharaj Parikshit was born. After Parikshit Maharaj was born, Yudhishthira Maharaj calls the expert Brahmanas to do his Jatak Karma. And they predict that this boy is a first-class devotee of the Lord, and he rules the world with all great qualities. And then Vidura, after a long pilgrimage, he returns back to Hastinapur, not to stay there, but to wake up his elder brother Dhritarashtra to senses and show him the path of self-realization. He uses harsh words also. Dhritarashtra woke up by the words of Vidura, and then he travels to the north. After that, Maharaj Yudhishthira starts seeing some bad omens in the kingdom, and it instills fear in him. Maybe Krishna has left the planet, that's why I'm seeing all this. Otherwise, when Krishna is in the planet, there cannot be any inauspiciousness. While he was discussing this with his younger brother Bhima, Arjuna comes from Dwarka, and he was so despondent. He asks several questions. Yudhishthira Maharaj asks several questions about how are Krishna Balram, how are Vasudev. He asks several questions, and finally he asks, like you cannot be despondent if Krishna is here. So does Krishna leave the planet? After much, he comes out, like he was in so much grief, Arjuna, and he comes back to his senses and answers, saying, yes, Krishna left the planet. And we hear how much gratitude he was feeling for all the victories which he has achieved in his life, from winning the hand of Draupadi to winning the battle of Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra battle was like an ocean. All the great generals were on the other side, but by the causeless mercy and friendship of Krishna, I was able to win over them. Then starts this chapter 16. Until now, the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka, they were hearing to different, the sequence what happened after the battle of Kurukshetra has ended. Now they ask question. They want to know about the birth of Parikshit Maharaj and his activities. Before that, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he leaves the kingdom and he prepares himself to go back to Godhead. Before doing that, he enthrones Parikshit Maharaj to the throne. He was well trained by his grandfathers. His father Abhimanyu died in the battle of Kurukshetra, so he was raised by his grandfathers. And he was well equipped with all the skills. He accepted Kripacharya as a spiritual master. Now comes, he sees the symptoms of Kali infiltrated into his kingdom. So this gives him a chance to fight. When he was touring the world, he hears the glories of his great-grandfathers, their relationship with Krishna, and the glories of Krishna. This invokes so much devotion in him. Just by hearing Krishna Katha, we can feel the presence of Krishna, no matter whatever condition we were in before. By sitting in Kirtan, by hearing Krishna Katha, we will be uplifted. This is the power of Krishna Katha. Prabhu, can we go to the purport? Lord Krishna is everything to the unalloyed devotees like the Pandavas. The Lord was for them the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the worshipable deity, the guide, the chariot driver, the friend, the servant, the messenger, and everything they could conceive of. And thus, the Lord also reciprocated the feelings of the Pandavas. Maharaj Parikshit, as a pure devotee of the Lord, could appreciate the Lord's transcendental reciprocation of the feelings of his devotees, and thus he himself also was overwhelmed with the dealings of the Lord. Simply by appreciating the dealings of the Lord with his pure devotees, one can attain salvation. The Lord's dealings with his devotees appear to be ordinary human dealings, but one who knows them in truth becomes at once eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. See, here we see how Parikshit Maharaj is appreciating the dealings of the Lord with his great-grandfathers. We can also appreciate, all we have to do is appreciate the dealings of the Lord with his devotees. Krishna is never alone. Krishna is always with his devotees. We can never see Krishna without his devotees. Krishna Katha means Krishna and his devotees. This appreciating the dealings of his devotees and his protection to his devotees. There are many Sankirtan stories which few I would like to share. His Grace Burijan Prabhu, he received a glorious disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He received instructions from Srila Prabhupada to go and preach in Hong Kong. He and his good wife Jagattarni Mataji, they went to Hong Kong. They paid advance of $150 to rent a home, but they didn't get a home. Literally, they were on the street for 2 weeks. They have no support, nothing. But somehow, their basic necessities were met. Some were giving were vegetables, some were supplying with what are the basic necessities they want. It's all the arrangement of Krishna. And there are several stories when 9/11 attacks happened. One devotee, he missed his regular ferry and he could not go to work on time. When the attack happened, he was not there. And one devotee, it was his daughter's first day of preschool. So he went to his daughter's preschool and he was not there. One devotee who was working on a top floor, he has to come to the down floor to get some printouts. Like there are several devotees who although there was the attack, they were miraculously saved by Krishna. Just like we see how Parikshit Maharaj was saved from the womb of Uttara when Ashwatthama released the Brahmastra. This shows how Krishna takes care of his devotees. Gaura Purnima is coming, and last week we observed Lord Nityananda's appearance day. Lord Nityananda is, for some of you who are not aware of who Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya is, Lord Nityananda is none other than Balram, and Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. They appeared 500 years back in Bengal, and Nityananda Prabhu appeared in Ekachakra, a village in East Bengal, to preach the message of Bhagavad Gita. When Nityananda Prabhu was in Shantipur once, there are many devotees who were chanting together. One time, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, there are several names that we'll be talking about now. If you don't know all the names, that's fine. Just appreciate the relationship with Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Especially the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, headed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. They had a very loving relationship with him. Once Raghunath Das Goswami, he met Lord Chaitanya when he came to Shantipur. He wanted to be with him, but he didn't get. He is the son of a jamindar. During those 500 years back, their annual income was some millions of rupees. In 500 years back, millions of rupees means it would be some billions today. And he was the only son to inherit all the property of his father and his uncle. Still, his heart was towards Lord Chaitanya. He wanted to meet Lord Chaitanya. He wanted to serve Lord Chaitanya. But he couldn't go. Each time he wanted to go, his father, out of affection for him, he would bring him back. One time he hears that Lord Nityananda was in Panihati. This is a village. And he goes and meets Lord Nityananda. He goes, but he stays far. He doesn't want to go in front of Lord Nityananda. A servant points that here is Lord Nityananda, that here is Raghunath Das Goswami who has come to see you. Lord Nityananda calls him and he places his head on he places his feet on his head and blesses him. And Lord Nityananda is very funny. He asks him to arrange a big festival to feed all the devotees over there. After the festival, Raghunath Das Goswami expresses his heart through another devotee, that he wants to be in the association of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Nityananda not only blesses him, but he requests, you all Vaishnavas, please give your blessings to Raghunath Das, so then he can attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Many times we hear, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dear associate is Lord Nityananda. If we receive the blessings and mercy of Lord Nityananda, it's easy for us to obtain the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Here we see with all these devotees, their loving relationship with Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Lord. All we have to do is appreciate their relationship with the Lord, for us to become eligible to enter into Lord's service. And one time, this is about Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. They were in the service of Nawab Husencha in Bengal. Nawab Husencha, he is the king of Bengal. At the time, Bengal it's a big territory, not just West Bengal, but it was until Madras. It was a big territory. He wanted to go invade other kingdoms, and he wanted somebody who is very capable to manage his kingdom. And he knew that Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were very efficient. So he engages them in a crooked way. He engages them in their service. But their heart is into serving Lord Chaitanya. So they wrote several letters to Lord Chaitanya. And only once they received a reply from Lord Chaitanya, except them, no one else could understand. And after receiving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during 24 years of his age, he received sannyasa, and then he wanted to travel. He traveled 2 years in South India, preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita and chanting the holy name of the Krishna. After coming back to Puri, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. From Puri to Vrindavan, while he was going, he wanted to visit Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Actually, it's not a straight route. He wanted to go. He wanted to give his association to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami at Ramakelli. It's a village. Rupa and Sanatana met Lord Chaitanya at Ramakelli, and they expressed their desire to be with him. And he blesses them to come and meet him. In all these devotees' relationship with Lord Chaitanya, there is one thing, it's deep affection. How their loving relationship with Krishna and Lord Chaitanya kept them going, although they didn't like the service of Nawab Husencha. It's their relationship with their anticipation of meeting Lord Chaitanya and their relationship with him kept them going in whatever they're doing. And especially Sanatan Goswami, his deity, we hear many stories of Sanatan Goswami and his deity Madan Mohan. His deity is Madan Mohan. Our deity is Madan Mohan too. Sanatan Goswami was empowered by Lord Chaitanya to go and write devotional teachings. Lord Chaitanya, he has given only Sikshashtakam, the 8 prayers. He all his writings, whatever he wanted to teach, he empowered, that he did through through the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, headed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Don't worry if you are unable to capture all the names, just capture the essence. Sanatan Goswami was one time doing Madhukari, means going door to door. And one time he saw some devotees, some kids playing with a child, and this child doesn't look ordinary. He was Krishna himself. He was playing with the kids. And he said the devotee, the father of those kids, saying that you cannot allow the deity to do like this. And Madan Mohan comes in his dream and says, see, I was happy playing with the devotees, with the kids, and now you said so many rules and restrictions about deity worship to them. Now I cannot go and play. And then he says, in another dream he comes and says, just come and take me. I want to be worshipped by you. He says, no, I cannot take you. I am an old man and I don't have any source of income. I have lots of writing to do. I cannot do. But he again comes in another time and says, please take me, Sanatana. I want to be worshipped by you. And Sanatan Goswami brings Madan Mohan to him. And whatever, he was living under a tree every single day. He was living under a different tree with lots of writing to do. One time, like every day what he would get, the prasadam, that the bhoga Madan Mohan would get was bhati. It's wheat flour mixed with water, made into balls and cooked in fire. One time Madan Mohan asks him, can I get some salt, Sanatana? He says, no, I cannot give you salt. Today you are asking for salt, tomorrow you will ask for me sweets. You can go to you can go to that Brahmana's house in Mathura and live there with them. They can feed you well. I cannot feed you. He says, no. Madan Mohan says, no. I don't want to be with them. I'll be with you. You don't have to give me salt. I can be with you. All these loving relationships of Lord Chaitanya, of the deity, with the Goswamis, with other devotees, just if we are able to appreciate it, then we can feel how deep is that their connection with the Lord. We feel that connection with the Lord. Can we go down, Prabhu? Yes. Here in this verse, in this purport, Prabhupada gives us this ticket back to Godhead. That is just appreciating. I would like to do one exercise with all of you. Just form into pairs, 2 or 3, or form a group, and just discuss among yourselves what is that few qualities of the devotees which we are seeing daily you appreciate. Something which you are able to appreciate. We can take 3 minutes for this and 2 minutes to discuss among yourself, to talk to your partner. We can take another couple of minutes. Can we hear some reflections, Prabhu, from your discussions?
Hare Krishna. So I was discussing with Malay Prabhu and Sean. So Malay Prabhu was saying that we are so fortunate that we have this opportunity to sit and listen here, and there are many devotees who are working in the background. For example, Ramanand Sakha Prabhu is working in the broadcast booths, and because of which so many devotees online, Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, they are able to read here. And somebody is working in the kitchen so that Krishna has a nice offering, bhoga, and devotees can have prasadam. So, and the opportunity to sing and dance in front of the Lord. And yeah, I just like.
Thank you, Prabhu. Someone else would like to share?
We were just talking about how Krishna was reciprocating with devotees from day-to-day life. And most of the examples that we discussed about was, most of the time it's very simple to ignore how Krishna is reciprocating. But over a period of time, we see that it's not accidents or just happened like that. So that was what we were discussing. Very simple things, but Krishna was always there. When Prabhu was sharing how devotees, when they pray for, reduce the work so that I can come here, be here, do something in the service. And somehow it just happens. Sometimes project get postponed. The whole team becomes free. Something like that. And personally also I've seen when going on Sankirtan or something, when there's so much uncertainty and when devotees keep praying, somehow doors open. And sometimes it might, we take it for coincidence, but it won't be like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, the more we will be able to see Krishna's hand in our lives. Right. Mataji.
Thank you. We were discussing, and I really have so much love for Krishna. It's a different story, but I found out my partner's name is Krishna, the lady here. So Krishna showed up in person. And another thing I realized, I've been to so many ISKCONs around the country here. And also in India, I've been to Vrindavan. And some centers, I noticed that people are so humble and so friendly. You feel like, oh my God, this is like, even my family, they are not friendly, the family members. And I'm like, they're friendly, they're so friendly, they're happy. And when they bow down in front of the Lord or Chaitanya Prabhu, it's like with such reverence. You feel that. And also when you were talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, I go to different courses. It took me so much deeper that I thought I was carried to another dimension almost. I felt happy and I felt like kind of dozing off. Not really sleepy, not boring, but it was like meditative. Your energy is pure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Would you like to share, Mataji?
Yeah, I think for devotees, I've seen humility is something that is very present. And that's very grounding.
Yeah. Thank you. Hansapriya Mataji is raising her hand.
Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna,
first of all,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I was just so touched by how devotees had gathered in front of the devotees in such a nice group, and how they were so observed in doing this exercise. So first of all, thank you for bringing this exercise, and how to watch them itself is such a touch my heart. And I was just saying that when we see this beauty of these devotees coming together, we can also appreciate the beauty of the Lord, His compassion at His eyes, and His willingness to accept our service despite of our disqualification. Actually, this is a reflection of Radha Vallabh. And I was just cherishing the relationship that we can have with the devotees and the lordships together. And that helps us to it draws in everything. Even if we are doing deity worship, it draws us closer. And when we are serving with other devotees, it draws us closer, and it strengthens our bonding, our relationship with the devotees as well as the lordships. And of course, then he eats in accepting our offering with the grace, and so is his devotees as well. So thank you very much for putting us through this exercise.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for bringing that point. When we serve devotees, we get closer to Krishna, and when we serve Krishna, we get closer to devotees. It's a bond. It's a bond of love between devotees and Krishna. Thank you for bringing that up. Prabhu, can we go to the purport, the last part of the purport? Can someone read the last from the Pandavas were so malleable?
The Pandavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for the service of the Lord, and by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape that they desired.
See, one thing that struck me was the word malleable. Malleable means pliable. Pandavas, they never complained, no matter what the circumstance was, external circumstance, to the point of going to the exile and staying there. They were actually the emperor of the world, would-be emperors of the world. Still, by crooked means, they were sent out. Their faith in Krishna never faded, no matter what the circumstance was. And they were ready to serve the Lord. Sometimes when we are disturbed, when we are upset, we might not take up our beads. But Pandavas, no matter what the external condition is, their service to the Lord never faded. This is what attracted the mercy of the Lord. Many times we see different devotees, how they take the service so close to their heart that no matter what, they don't stop. Especially when Kautkarna Prabhu was sharing about Sankirtan stories, I was reminded of one thing. Sometimes we go door to door and nothing happens. One devotee in the group prays hard, Lord Chaitanya, please direct us to some devotee, some person who can take Bhagavatam. The next door, they would accept Srimad Bhagavatam. And one time we were in a group where we met a person. He wanted to take Bhagavatam. He said, I don't give full donation. I will take Bhagavatam, but I don't want to give full donation. We said, okay, and then he take the set. He gave some donation. And then he said, "Can you please wait?" And he went and gave it a big amount, saying, just before I was discussing about Lord Narsimha to one of my friends, and the display copy which we were carrying for our 7th canto, where the picture of Lord Narsimhadev was there. It's not simple coincidence that I'm able to see this picture. Just 1 hour back, I was talking about Narsimhadev to one of my friends, and now you are coming. There is something higher in this. Let me give the amount. And then he went and paid, not full, but almost full. We don't know how the Lord reciprocates once we are engaged in His service, and when we feel that we are the humble instruments, when we take this as a service and we are just the instruments, the reciprocation comes in a way which we cannot even conceive of, especially when He feels that we don't exploit others. Krishna, we can expect Krishna's mercy in any shape and any form, like how the Pandavas experienced His mercy. I would like to do one more exercise where just you can take a partner now and discuss. When you are upset, when we are disturbed, what do we do? Where do we go for shelter? Here we see Pandavas, no matter what, their shelter is Krishna, including Draupadi, Subhadra, Kunti Devi, all of them, the entire family, their shelter is only Krishna. Only Krishna, Krishna and only Krishna. Where do we go for shelter when we are disturbed, when we are upset? It could be eating sweets, it could be sleep or Facebook, just withdraw and isolate ourselves, or play victim mentality. See, poor me, they did this to me, they said this to me. Believe it or not, this victim mentality is very prevalent in Kali Yuga. It's not there in the previous ages, thanks to the influence of age of Kali. We are all stuck in this victim mentality. And can we discuss? First thing is, like, where do we go for shelter when we are disturbed? And at that time, when we are disturbed, how can we go to shelter of Krishna? Can we discuss these two things? We'll take another couple of minutes and then discuss. Now we can hear some reflections. Who is the brave soldier who would like to volunteer? There is one mic. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mother, that's a very good exercise. So I was discussing with Nikunj Naik Prabhu. So we do a lot of things, like for example, when distress happens, like, sometimes, we don't do anything. We just like sleep or, just let it go attitude. And sometimes, we listen to lectures. And sometimes, in YouTube, when you search for something, you can search for the exact thing, like let's say job loss. Like you might see that, some other devotee might have asked in the past, and how, like for example, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj or some exalted devotee has answered that question. That also helped us, to. And sometimes we come to temple, talk to devotees over phone. That also helps. Yeah, and also we realize that, like all this happiness and sorrow, whatever happens to our life, they're kind of temporary in nature. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this cell should pass. But sometimes it becomes hard, and when bad things happen, the most important thing is that we need to understand, like that is when we can learn the most. And when this thing is over, somebody can ask you, like, what is your lesson? But when good things happen, our human psychology is that we don't usually learn to that great extent.
Yes.
So. Yeah, I mean, and we were discussing some real life example, like, in Steve Jobs in his, Stanford commencement speech, he mentioned, like, he founded Apple and he was fired from the same company. Then, but he was really upset. He was not able to show his face to his friends. He was thinking to get out of, like Bay Area, but somehow he restricted himself. And he founded Pixar. Then it was later acquired by Apple, and, that's where he met his wife. So when he connect the dots backward, he feels that all these things happened for a good reason. And being ordinary human beings, we don't see the bigger picture. Krishna knows what is like best for us. So he has the best plan for us. That is something we cannot even imagine. So yeah, having that faith is usually helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. You brought several points. It increases our faith in Krishna. And at that time, when we connect with devotees, with those 2-3 devotees whom we do guhyam akyate pruchate, we share our heart, that's when our faith becomes even strong. Thank you for that. Would anyone like to? Yes, Mataji.
I noticed I don't get angry anymore after chanting. Meditation, I don't want to go on and tell a longer story, but I found out that chanting is really good to stop the chattering mind. When you're angry, it works, but you have to chant for a long time. Meditation really works. It's a must. But I listen to Bhagavad Gita. When I read Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit, I mispronounce words and I get frustrated. And sorry to say that, but I don't get much out of it. But when I listen to Bhagavad Gita, I go into a trance, nothing bothers me. It's like it changes the physiology and chemistry of the brain. It literally does. So there was a girl in distress, she's working on her PhD. I met her in Boone, North Carolina during a spiritual function, and she's struggling to finish the PhD. She still cannot. She said she eats bad, and there was some people in the department competing with her, very angry. So I told her, you listen to Bhagavad Gita. She said, no, I'm chanting this other mantra. I said, no, you listen to Bhagavad Gita, I repeated. And then I was meditating. She came and discussing with her friend. She said, oh my God, Sarah is my name. Oh, Sarah is right. I listened to Bhagavad Gita. I went into meditation and I felt so happy. I said, there we go. Listen to Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you for that point, Mataji. Bhagavad Gita is non-different from Krishna. Krishna's words, Krishna are non-different. And hearing is one of the potent forms of realizing.
I tell that to a lot of people that they're not even believer or in ISKCON, like they're with other spiritual groups. Some people, they accept it really nicely.
Thank you.
Because it works. It's the words of God.
Hansapriya Mataji. No.
Actually, we are blessed in our movement because we have so many examples ahead of us that they have set a standard for us to follow. So when we speak about Mahajana Yekatha Pantha, we have actually in the practical life as well, where we see that the situations they are in, where they can also use to blame something or other, someone or other, but how they have handled it. I mean, after Srila Prabhupada left, how the disciples, they handled it. They could have blamed the situation, the circumstances. But then how we can see from the teachings of the Pandavas, the teachings of our Acharyas, the teachings of Srila Prabhupada disciples, that what it takes to be responsible, we are able to respond, how to be dutiful and take charge of it and become proactive in that. And it's a serious business to not criticize the devotees. And if we get into that slippery slope, it can just take the spiral downwards, not just to ourselves, but the people around us as well. So fortunately grateful to the Acharyas how they have set an example, and also we can see in our own personal life. I mean, I can speak how my mother, how she would introspect and how she will deepen her relationship with the lordships and how she took a shelter of it. So fortunately, intellectual doesn't help much there, but then we also have the practical examples that we can take shelter of.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, all our Acharyas, thank you for bringing that point. Our Acharyas, they went to their Diksha Gurus, Siksha Gurus when they are disturbed. And we don't have to do anything new. Everything is set for us, our Acharyas, and even the current Acharyas, not our previous disciplic succession, the current Acharyas, they laid the path for us. Just all we need to do is follow. Thank you, Mataji. You want to say something? Okay. We'll conclude. Kaishwara presentation is about to come. Just few things. Today we talked about the Bhaktavatsala nature of Krishna, how out of all the qualities of Krishna, his Bhaktavatsala nature is the more endearing thing, and how he protects his devotees, and how to appreciate the dealings of the Lord with his devotees. Just by appreciating, we are winning ticket, not a lottery ticket, take a winning ticket back to Godhead, and how we can connect with Krishna no matter what our external circumstances. Thank you. I offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas who are assembled here and who has joined us online, so that we can sink this message deeper into our hearts and serve Srila Prabhupada in a more better way. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Her Grace Harikatha Mataji ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Now I'd like to move on to the next part of our Saturday morning program, which is the Kaishura presentation. And we've been having a presentation on the series related to Dhruva Maharaj's pastime. This is from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's book, Dhruva. So today we have Arna, who will be presenting on chapter 5 of this pastime.
Prabhu, turn down the mic.
Hare Krishna. My name is Arna Patel. I'm 12 years old, and today I'll be presenting on chapter 5 of Dhruva, Comforting a Repentant Heart. For context, at the start of the book, Dhruva sees his brother Uttama playing on his father's lap. Naturally, he decides to also try to sit on his father's lap, but his stepmother, Suruchi, forbids him from doing so. She says that since he was not born from her womb, he shouldn't have the privilege of sitting on his father's lap. This is because King Uttanapad, his father, preferred Suruchi, his younger wife, over Suniti, Dhruva's mom, the older wife. At the start of chapter 5, King Uttanapad felt regret for not standing up to Dhruva. He realized he had been a henpecked husband and biased to Suruchi. He was full of regret and already knew that he couldn't do anything since Dhruva had already left the palace. At this point of the story, Narada Muni arrived and was concerned about King Uttanapad. He asked the king if he was all right, to which the king revealed that he had mistreated his older wife Suniti and his son Dhruva. And he was worried about where Dhruva had gone. Narada Muni encouraged and responded to the king by telling him how competent Dhruva is and that he'll come back to him and give him happiness. Some pearls of wisdom from this story are: don't be too eager to point out others' flaws. Give them space to realize on their own. Help others not in the mood of superiority, but in the mood of service. Some errors may not be reversible, but can be repairable. While hoping for the best, we shouldn't put our hands to rest. Accept failures in the right spirit. To conclude my presentation, here's a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that shows what was going on in King Uttanapad's mind when Narada Muni told him this news. Although he could not believe the words of the messenger, he had full faith of the great sage Narada. Thus, he was greatly overwhelmed by the news, and he immediately offered the messenger a highly valuable necklace in great satisfaction. Thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Arna. That was fantastic. Arnav has just joined our Sunday school this year, so this is his first exposure to Krishna conscious public speaking. So look forward to hearing more. Any questions, comments, or reflections?
Hare Krishna. It's a reflection. For me, Dhruva is a nice, interesting story. From childhood, we know the story. We have heard it in multiple forms, more explanations, maybe in 1 minute story versus an hour-long story. But then overall it was a story. But now I notice from this kids' presentation over like last 3-4 weeks, There's so much to learn from this such a simple story. And the points, can you bring back the slide, like 2 slides back? Yeah, the pearls of wisdom. And the 2 sessions back, like 3 points, and next like another 3, and these are like, each were like so valuable points, like and applicable to daily life. I could not have come to this by myself. So thanks to Gauranga Darshan Prabhu for the books, and thank you for the opportunity to like enjoy those and then slowly absorb these pearls of wisdom from the story.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, very powerful. Yes, Mataji.
This was a very wonderful presentation with a lot of wisdom. So I have 2 questions. The first question is, if we have made an error, how do we repent for it? Like, if we have made an error towards like someone, like how do we ask for forgiveness or repentance?
Like you can like apologize, and like through your actions they can see that you're actually trying to improve, but like don't like try to brush it away, like acting like it never happened, because I see some people that's what they try to do. They like just like if they think that if I just forget it ever happened, then it would be like, oh, it's already done, but that person still remembered what you did. So I think you should try to like act nice to them, say sorry, and like through your actions it'll be like seen.
Thank you. And the second question I have is for the first pearl of wisdom here. Don't be too eager to point out others' flaws. So how do we like keep patience during that process?
Like, it's, I think what I learned from that was maybe they learn more from, even if you like told them like what their flaws were, if they learn it from themselves, like their flaws, they actually learn more about like how to like overcome those flaws. But if they did it themselves, like independence, it would be like better. So you just have to have like a little bit of patience, and then you can try to like help them overcome. And you can't, and I think this also goes for the second pearl of wisdom: help others not in the mood of superiority, but in the mood of service. Because that goes with the first one, because if you like try to point out their flaws, they might see you as like you're trying to take control. But you have to do it in the mood of service.
Thank you. Those were brilliant answers.
Thank you.
Great questions and great answers. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Karnava Prabhu.
Thank you for the brilliant presentation. Could you explain more about this? Some errors may not be reversible but can be repairable.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it means that like you can't go back in time, obviously, to reverse it, but repairable meaning you can, I guess you can use those errors, and like if you did something bad to a person, you can use those errors to like help them, or
maybe you can think of what happened in Dhruva's case or in Uttanapada's case, right?
Yeah.
What exactly happened after
Like he actually felt bad, and using that he could have probably like told Suniti, and she would be like happy about it.
And the verse that you just shared, right, in the next slide, what was how did he repair what happened in the story? Do you remember? Do you recollect when he got the news that Dhruva is coming back?
Yeah.
What was Uttanapada's reaction?
Like he was happy.
He was very happy
about that.
Which was very different than when he actually, did that mistake of ignoring Dhruva. He was very cold-hearted. Now we can see the warmth coming back. So he's repairing the mistake that he did. And going further in the story, there's a celebration when Dhruva comes back. When he was going, there was nothing. Nobody even looked at him. Nobody even gave him a goodbye or a, see you. Nobody was there to even express, that they're going to miss him. He just walked and left the palace, left the palace grounds, went into the forest with nobody behind even looking for him. But when he came back, Maharaj Uttanapada had realized, he had repented, and he realized he needs to repair the problem. So there was a huge celebration. The king and the family, along with, that means both Suruchi and Suniti and Uttama, along with all the ministers, they went to the outskirts to welcome Dhruva back like a prince. So it was just the opposite. So that's how he repaired what behavior and mistake he had done earlier. So, yeah. You have it. I just said it for him. He knows what happens in the story. Any other thoughts or reflections? Questions? Okay. Well, thank you. So this is fantastic. I think we are all looking forward to what happens next, right? Every week I myself feel the excitement because of the way in which students like Arnav are presenting. Very grateful to you, Arnav, for all your hard work, and also looking forward to more such presentations from you. I hope you're enjoying the process like we are. And thank you to all for blessing the students and asking such wonderful questions, giving your reflections. It really means a lot. And we'll stop with that. This morning program's ending here. And should we conclude with the announcements, Prabhu? Do we have announcements? Thank you. Thank you, Anna. So we can go over announcements, and also I want to thank Harikatha Mataji once again for a fantastic morning program and class. She is one of our powerful Sunday school teachers, so all these children are, learning by the grace of teachers like Harikatha Mataji. So, yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us for Saturday morning program. You could have gone to many other places, but you chose to be here. So, we are very grateful to have you. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to acknowledge all of you and for each other's. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is there anybody coming for the first time today? Okay. Mataji, could you your name, please? Jyotsna Mataji. Are you visiting or you're from Bay Area? Fremont. Thank you so much. With family? What's the name of the princess? Sahana and Adya and Jyotsna. Let's welcome them with the Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, and a Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We look forward to having you on a regular basis. Please, if you need any help, let us know. We can assist you in anything. So we would like to first thank our speaker for the day, Her Grace Harikatha Mataji, because Mataji started with the Japa circle this morning. So Mataji spoke about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He has written a series of letters called Patravali about the glories of the holy names. And one of the things that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions is simply by chanting the holy names, everything will be revealed to us. So we can worship Krishna. We don't have to meditate on the pastimes of Krishna while chanting. We just have to meditate on the sound, on the names of Krishna, and everything will be manifested in our hearts step by step. So that was the pearl of wisdom from that. Make Japa great again. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam class, Mataji chose a very nice verse from 1st Canto, chapter 16, text 16, which shows the many great qualities of Lord Krishna, but especially his quality of protecting his devotees, known as Bhaktavatsala quality. So Krishna, just like his devotees, for Pandavas, Krishna is everything: their messenger, their friend, their worshipable deity, everything. Similarly, for Krishna, their devotees are everything. So and Mataji gave 2 exercises which helped us to appreciate other devotees and how to process when we are disturbed in our mind. So let's thank Her Grace Harikatha Mataji with a big round of applause. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you so much, Mataji. We have many teams going out for book distribution today. Last weekend it was Nityananda Triyodashi. Now our next big festival is Gaur Purnim, Appearance Day of Lord Chaitanya. It is going to be on March 13th. So this is a time to share mercy of Lord Chaitanya in this terms of Sankirtan, book distribution and Prasadam. And today we are also going to start our first weekly Harinam. And the youth team from ISV, they have started this weekly Harinam. Of course, you know about monthly Harinam that we do in Palo Alto. And today is the first time they are going to do a weekly Harinam. So Bhagavad Pran Prabhu and many other youth, they are going to be in Palo Alto, Lytton Plaza, the usual spot where we have our Harinam. They're going to do the Harinam from 4 to 7 p.m. So if you like to join, please feel free to go and join them. So teams are going to San Francisco. Of course, locally there are Indian stores. If you like to join for book distribution, if you like to sponsor Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, we have a worldwide goal of at least 7,000 Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. So if you like to get one for yourself, it's available in more than 22 languages. So if you have an English copy, you want another language, we have other languages for you. If you want to send it to somebody anywhere in the world, we have pipelines in India, South Africa, America, South America. So please let us know. We can send that for you. Hare Krishna. So any other announcements? Anybody knows cooks for today? And? Okay. Today's cooks are Ram Priya Prabhu, helped by other devotees. So let's appreciate our cooks for today by a big round of applause. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Yes. We would also like to thank our broadcast team, His Grace Ramanand Sakha Prabhu. He was very busy today because he was worshipping. He was dressing the deities from morning 4:30 a.m. and then worshipping. And then he also took care of our broadcast. So let's thank His Grace Ramanand Sakha Prabhu. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! And now Prabhu is, and Krishangi Gopi Mataji. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So now we'll chant the Prasadam prayers before we honor the Prasadam. This is the prayers. Mataji, can we go to the translations? So these are the different songs that are written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prayers before honoring the Prasadam, prayers during honoring the Prasadam, prayers after honoring the Prasadam. But we are just going to read a few. Let's read this together. O Lord, this material body is a place of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths to death. Somehow we have fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to control the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us and have given us such nice prasad just to control the tongue. Now we take this prasad to our full satisfaction and glorify you, Radha and Krishna, and in love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. O brothers, one day at Sri Advaita's house in Shantipur, the two lords, Chaitanya and Nityananda, were seated for lunch. Lord Chaitanya tasted the green leafy vegetable preparation and addressed the assembly of his devotees. This shak is so delicious. Lord Krishna has definitely tasted it. At the taste of shak like this, love of Krishna arises in the heart. In such love, you should taste these remnants, giving up all materialistic conceptions and taking the Lord's Prasad. All of you just chant, Hari, 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 Hari. Okay, offering is going on, so we'll wait for 5 to 10 minutes. Let's read a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Everybody's up for it? It's Hari Bol. Chapter 7, the knowledge of the Absolute. We'll read Sanskrit and translations. As these prayers tell us that this body is made up of network of ignorance. So they lead us on the path of hell. But by remembering Krishna, by honoring this prasadam, we can go back home, back to Godhead. So this is one way to remember Krishna, by reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. So let's do this together. We'll first read Sanskrit and then translations. Chapter 7, Atha Saptamo Dhyaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasya Tashrinu Jnanam Teham Savignanam Idam Vakshyamya Sheshata Yajgyatva neha bhuyonyaj gyatavyam avashishyate manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvata Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyam me bhinna prakritir ashtadha aprayam mitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param Jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedham dharyate jagat etad yonini bhutani sarvanityupadharaya prabhava pralayastatha matta partaram nanyat Kinchidasti dhananjaya Mai sarvam idam protam Sutre maniganaiva Rasoham apsu kaunteya Prabhasmi shashi surayo Pranava sarva vedeshu Shabdakhe paurusham nishu Punyo gandha prathivyam cha tejasyasmi vibhavaso jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapasyasmi tapasvishu bijam mam sarva bhutanam vidhi partha sanatanam Buddhir buddhimatamasmi tejas tejasvinamaham balam balvatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभा ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि नात्वाहं तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् दैवी हि एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढा प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमा माययापहृतज्ञाना आसुरं भावमाश्रिता चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनो अर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्ता एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रिया उदारा सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थिता स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम् बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभा कामैस्तैस्तैरितज्ञाना प्रपद्यन्त्यन्यदेवता तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया यो यो यां यां तनुं भक्ता श्रद्धयार्चितुम् इच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम् स तया श्रद्धया युक्तस्तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मय्यैव विहितान् हितान् अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवति अल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते मामबुद्धया परं भावम् अजानन्तो ममाव्ययम् अनुत्तमम् नाहं प्रकाश सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृता मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम् वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन भविष्यानि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रता jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatanti ye te brahma tadvidu kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakhilam sadhibhutadidaivam mam sadhiyajnam cha ye vidhu prayanakale picha mam te viduryukta chetasa. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vijnana Yogo Nama Saptamo Adhyaya. Hari Om. We'll go to Prasadam prayers now. Sharira Vidya Jal Jodindriya Tahe Kal Jibe Pele Bishaya Sagore Tar Madhe Jibhayati Lobha Moy Sudurmati ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बड़ो दोयामोय कोरी बारे जिह्वा जाय स्वप्रसादन दिलो भाय से अन्नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यवतां राजन् विश्वासो नैव जायते प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो हि आशु बुद्धिपर्यावतिष्ठते तव्योपभुक्तश्रगन्धा वासोऽलङ्कारचर्चिता उच्छिष्टभोजिनो दासास्तव मायां जयेमहि. Next. शुष्कं पर्युषितं वापि नीतं वा दूरदेशता प्राप्तिमात्रेण भोक्तव्यं नात्र कालविचारणा न देशनियमस्तत्र न कालनियमस्तथा प्राप्तमन्नं द्रुतं शिष्टैर्भोक्तव्यं हरिरब्रवीत्. Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasadam ki jai. Prasadam will be served on my right here when you cross this door. Thank you so much for your patience. Hare Krishna, Krishna